You didn't see me click that in the background, by the way. No, it stayed on this map the whole time. Welcome, everyone, back to another live stream on the channel. Hopefully, you're all having a fantastic Wednesday so far. Wait a second. It's freaking Thursday. Yeah, I said Wednesday because we went live earlier, and I said Thursday. So for some reason, my mind went backwards in time. Anyways, haven't seen you guys in a whole 2.5 hours. Glad to see you in here. Let's see, we have Misty, Caden, Edits, Ben, as well as Isabel, Pete. We have Diaries, Lakeisha. Let me go up a little bit more. We have, let's see, how close are we? Mike, Sam, Otter, as well as Grumpy and everybody else who is in the live stream who may not be chatting, or if I missed you, Dane, welcome to the stream as well. In Green, California. Glad to see you guys all in here. Let's switch on over. I did have some technical issues right before stream, literally 2 minutes before stream. I task killed it, reset my computer, and got back here in time. So that might be why I was a few seconds late. We'll see. Okay, that was glitch number 1. You see how it flashed like that? That's not fixed. But I did fix glitch number 2 because the overlay looks normal. Alrighty, well, hopefully we don't have to deal with that for too long. That's a Streamlabs issue right there, not a my end issue. I may know one way to fix it. Might as well get this fixed now if I can. Let's see. That might be it right there. So if I go here, man, which one would it be under? Streamlabs, this maybe? Okay, yeah. So if okay, I already did for those. Well, shoot, apparently that's not the fix because it's not even an option there. Well, hopefully a quick refresh of my computer later on tonight will fix that. I'll see. I'll try to refresh it all again. But anyways, yeah, hopefully you're all doing really well on this Thursday night now. Currently 8:04 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. And we've got a lot to talk about. Not a lot of new information since we were last live about 2.5 hours ago. But we are definitely going to be getting some new information in over the next hour, especially the next 2 hours, once we start to see the Storm Prediction Center, rather the HRRR update, not the SPC. The SPC will update really in the overnight hours. I do want to see... Okay, I'm not going to do that, actually. Alrighty, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive on into our Storm Prediction Center outlooks here for today. So for today, we do have still a marginal risk for severe weather in place over portions of the southeastern U.S. Not really going to be seeing much. Most of the severe weather is already finished. We actually covered some of that in our live stream earlier today. So we've got that marginal risk for severe weather today. Not really much of an issue. Small tornado risk that's really over. Wind risk is still isolated for tonight, and the hail risk is still isolated for tonight. But that tornado threat, I believe, is done for the day. Tomorrow is where it all really gets kicking off here. We've got a moderate risk level 4 out of 5 for severe weather centered over the St. Louis area. So that is exactly where we called out yesterday. We called out yesterday where I thought a moderate risk could be issued. They went ahead and issued a moderate risk in that area. The main risk is for damaging wind gusts as high as 100 miles per hour. We also have another risk for severe weather in terms of hail for tomorrow. The risk of up to 3-inch hail in diameter, as well as for tornadoes. I do think we could see a moderate risk for tornadoes, a 15 significant risk for tornadoes somewhere in and around the St. Louis area. Generally around there. I don't know if it would be for that northern mode, which is going to be, in and north of St. Louis, or if they may end up issuing it for the southern mode for severe weather. But I think eventually one or the other, or maybe even both, will end up with a 15 significant risk for tornadoes tomorrow. And then, yeah, that's all your probabilities. 10 sig tor, 45 sig wind, and a 30 sig hail at the moment. So we're looking at some big time severe weather tomorrow. Then day 3, going on into Saturday here, we do have a moderate risk for severe weather yet again. This is extremely rare. Day 3 moderates are actually more rare than day 1 high risks. So we do have a day 3 level 4 out of 5 for severe weather. And this is as high as it gets on the Storm Prediction Center's outlook 3 days out. You are not able to have a level 5 out of 5 3 days out. That is impossible for the SPC to issue. That does not simply exist. There is no way to see a level 5 out of 5 for severe weather here on the day 3 outlook. So this is actually as high as it gets in terms of categorical outlooks. And we do have a 45 significant risk for overall severe weather being a possibility. That goes from east central eastern Louisiana through central southern and actually most of Mississippi there, and then into a good chunk of Alabama as well. The risk in this area is probably going to end up being 80 to 90 mile an hour wind gusts, especially with that QLCS on the northern side. Multiple long tracked, intense to potentially violent tornadoes, and as well as some large hail up to about 2.5-inch in diameter will all be a possibility for Saturday's threat for severe weather. And then we move on into Sunday's risk for severe weather. Not nearly as impressive. We still don't have an enhanced risk. I think we could see an enhanced risk at some point, but I'm not confident on exactly when we may end up seeing that enhanced risk issued somewhere on the East Coast. This is where I think the best chance for that enhanced risk and also the highest risk for tornadoes will end up being on Sunday. I don't see it being nearly, not even remotely close to as the caliber of Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and Saturday. I don't see it even being remotely close to that bad of a threat for severe weather. All right, I do want to see, did it glitch that time? Okay, I didn't see any glitches. I was trying to figure that out. Let's go over to our model runs now. Yeah, our 00Z HRRR will begin rendering at about 8:50 p.m. Eastern. That's 7:15, or rather 7:50 Central Time. Yeah, if this does go into a day 2 high risk, it will be the third time in history that we've had a day 2 high risk. Believe it or not, April 27th, 2011, the latest super outbreak did not consist of a day 2 high risk. The last high risk, oh boy, I'm trying to forget. I know how it played out and I know exactly where it was, but I forgot the date. But there was definitely 2. I know for a fact there was 2 high risks for severe weather on the day 2 outlook before. All right, we'll start with our NAM 3K model run for now. I think that will be the best one. Okay, there you go. Just make sure everything's good. Make sure this scene's good too, just in case, because like I said, I had some technical difficulties before stream. All right, so yeah, let's go and pull this all the way forward here. We're not going to see much severe weather overnight. Things don't really start getting going until probably about the 4 p.m. Eastern time frame. That's when we're going to start seeing the potential for some thunderstorms to begin to ignite along a cold front dry line out here southwest of the Kansas City metro. I don't think that will right off the bat rapidly intensify. I think they will be on the lower side for the first hour or two, and then eventually they will become severe, most likely closer to that 6 p.m., most likely ending up closer to 6 p.m. Eastern time, when those storms will end up going severe, very close to or just barely east of the Kansas City metro region. And that will continue throughout the rest of the evening hours, going into 7 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And you can see 10 p.m. Eastern, that is when our threat for severe weather will be peaking, most likely between 8 and 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll see that peak activity for severe weather. And if we do end up with any bow echoes like this, that is where we're going to have the opportunity for as high as 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts being a possibility with some of these thunderstorms as they roll through tomorrow evening and into the overnight hours. Then as we go into midnight Eastern, this will begin to progress well into central Illinois. It will be just a couple hours, about 2 hours away from Chicago at that point. There is, of course, a little bit of timing issues, but the timing issues are actually primarily on Saturday, not so much on tomorrow's threat, which is Friday. Thank you, Brody, for becoming a EF1 member. That's greatly appreciated. Glad to see you in the stream again. So, yeah, we'll continue with that wind threat. After it gets east of Davenport, so once it gets east of Davenport, roughly about 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, that's when your wind threat will begin to decrease. So after that, our wind gust may approach as high as 80, 85 miles per hour. So around midnight and past midnight Eastern time, that threat for damaging winds will begin to deteriorate quite quickly. We'll see that threat really fall apart, especially as we get into the into the overnight hours towards 2 a.m. Eastern. That will really just be rain showers as opposed to a severe threat. It doesn't seem like many model runs initiate thunderstorms on the southern end of this threat here. Only a few models initiate just some light convection. Most of our models actually initiate that light convection. But, I mean, even some of them don't even have convection at all. So, we'll see how the overnight risk plays out. There's definitely still the opportunity that we see a few supercells overnight tomorrow night into Saturday morning. But it just looks a lot more conditional than previously anticipated. So, I doubt that will end up going 15 sig. If we do see a 15 sig for tornadoes tomorrow, I feel like it would be probably around that St. Louis area, just to the north of St. Louis. This is the HRRR 18Z now. We switched to model runs just then. So that is the best opportunity and the highest chance I see for a 15 significant chance for tornadoes to be introduced there. Thank you, Sag, for becoming an EF1 member. Greatly appreciated. Welcome to the stream, and glad to see you as a member. Thank you for supporting the stream more than you already do. Again, just being here is supporting the live stream. Hitting the like button is supporting it even more. And subscribing, just every single thing that you do after viewing the stream just helps more and more and more with the channel. And it's greatly appreciated. And then same goes. I just think we have a very conditional, strong tornado threat on the south side. I personally don't see much. And that is both a good thing and a bad thing. Why is that a bad thing that we may not see strong tornadoes tomorrow? At least in this area here, northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, west Tennessee. I know it's slightly off your screen. Well, that's going to be bad because that's going to allow for less morning convection Saturday morning, which will actually end up increasing the threat for overall tornadoes across Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee as we go through Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. It is a lose-lose situation. It is a lose-lose situation. Either we see strong tornadoes tomorrow night in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, southwest Kentucky, southeast Missouri. Those supercells fire. Then move into Tennessee throughout the day. I know you can't see up into Tennessee. Let me go to this one. There you go. Move into Tennessee into the overnight hours, and then finally start to fall apart towards the between 6 and 8 Eastern time, AM time, Saturday morning. And that would cause a lot of instability issues over the northern risk area for Saturday. However, even if we see that scenario, there is still going to end up being a strong to likely violent long track tornado threat across portions of Mississippi, central Alabama, and that would go a lot more west as well. The HRRR is a bit of an outlier. It progresses the front too quickly, so that strong to violent tornado threat would actually end up being more over this entire area here, maybe even a little bit more north than what I drew on this particular map. So we're looking at a very widespread area getting significant tornadoes, and definitely an opportunity for some violent tornadoes going into Saturday afternoon as well as Saturday morning. So all-day event. Really, Saturday is an all-day event. Those primary storms will definitely begin to form closer towards the 8 a.m. Eastern time frame. However, if we just roll that back a little bit, you'll notice dead of night, I mean, we're talking like 4 a.m. here, we may see an isolated spin-up strong tornado in the overnight hours if we can get any notable supercells to occur in that area during that time frame. Right now, I feel like that's unlikely, despite the HRRR and the NAM as well, both showing convection in that area. The NAM significantly weaker than the HRRR, but I just don't feel like we're going to end up seeing a good, strong tornado threat until at and after the 7 a.m. Eastern time frame. And then again, that's the last frame of your HRRR 18Z. We'll be getting 6 new frames here on the 00Z HRRR. That won't finish rendering until about 10 p.m. Eastern, so a good solid hour and a half until the 0Z is finished rendering in for Saturday, right around there. Yeah, I would definitely brace, that's for sure. I would definitely brace to see some pretty ridiculous things for this 0Z run. It would not surprise me at all. Yeah, Isabel, I do. 00Z HRRR still has a bias, but I don't think it's biased as typically as bad as like the 18Z and 06Z. Those model runs are just not that accurate. So yeah, I think the 0Z is going to be ridiculous. Or it could end up being similar. We'll see. It also depends on if it fixes its fast bias as well as it's just simply being too fast. It's not really a known bias. It's just simply being too fast for the HRRR. And it's also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's also over-convecting in some areas, especially up in here. So, I mean, just a ridiculous threat for severe weather. I did not see what you and Indiana were saying, Ben. No. No, like I said, I was trying to fix that stupid glitch 2 seconds, pretty much 2 seconds before the stream. I mean, 2 minutes before I realized it was starting to bug out. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Why now? And then there's your NAM 3K. You can see how your NAM 3K, I mean, it's just above that second screen above my face cam there. It's right there. Let's go to this one. There you go. Much better, huh? So there's the NAM 3K. You can see it has its front way back over here, right? Way back here is the overall cold front, dry front, cold front, dry line. Right in there. And then the HRRR, this is the same time, by the way. I didn't pull it forward at all. That has their cold front, dry line back here. So significantly more to the east compared to the NAM 3K. A lot more east. Substantially more east. But just overall, it really doesn't matter exactly what like it's gonna matter to an extent, right? If we get a bunch of over convection in the morning, that's gonna end up deteriorating the overall risk for severe weather somewhat. But no matter what, we're gonna see the potential for long track strong tornadoes. It's just a matter of how high that threat may get. And I mean, we're looking at some of the craziest ceilings that we've seen in Dixie Alley for about the last 3 to 4 years here. Now, whether or not that ceiling actually has storms inside that very favorable environment, we'll see. We will see. So that's just all going to come down to exact mesoscale features, and really we won't know the full extent of this strong, intense, and potentially violent tornado threat until the day of. Really, the day of is when we'll get that absolute best data in. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll know a lot more morning of the event because that's when we start getting our 12Z sounding. So those will be very, very crucial. But it is definitely possible that we see a day 2 high risk for severe weather. I don't really see a major bust mode or fail mode or underperformance mode in any of this. There's really nothing that could go majorly wrong with this environment. I mean, you've really checked every single box that there is to check and even more for Dixie Alley. So I just don't see a way how we do not end up with multiple strong to long tracked tornadoes, possibly even some intense to maybe violent. Misty, a day 1 high risk for Saturday is nearly, I mean, that's nearly, what, how do I put this? It's pretty much guaranteed to happen. That's the words I'm looking for. There is such a small chance that we don't see a high risk out of this. There is definitely a chance that we don't see a high risk, but that chance is very slim. Very, very, very slim. Considering the Jackson, Mississippi area forecast discussion mentioned a potential categorical risk upgrade. To some extent, they didn't exactly say that. And we're still 3 days out. And like I said, it's not even possible. It's not even possible to get a day 3 high risk, yet their AFD still mentioned even greater probabilities. Yeah. Definitely going to be... we're going to be... Either we're going to be at a high risk at day 2, or we're going to be like right there. You know, there's going to be this little issue on why they don't issue a day 2 high risk. Ben, they're dead center of that moderate. I don't want to point out exactly where they are, but they are pretty much dead center of that in Alabama. So I've been trying to keep them up to date. Thankfully, they live in a very well-built 2-story home with a tornado shelter, so that's about as good as you can get in Alabama without needing to just leave the state for the tornado threat. So, yeah, last year, if you guys remember that 15 sig tour surprise that happened in northern Alabama, and it wasn't forecasted at all, well, they're in central Alabama, and they saw that, and they were like, shoot, that could happen here. So they bought a tornado shelter. If you remember that, like the EF3 we had, I think it was in Huntsville or southwest of Huntsville. Yeah, my family in central Alabama was watching my stream during that time and saw that and went, heck no, we getting a tornado shelter right now. And so they did. They got it over winter. Let's see here. I want to go back to this day. So also something that is just absurd is the population, the widespread impacts that we are going to see and just how large of an area it covers is ridiculous. So for tomorrow, we've got, I think, I'll just do the math again. 25, 25, 50, 60. We've got about just barely or right around 70 million people under the gun for severe weather tomorrow alone. And then if we go on over into Saturday, we have an additional 65 million some people under the gun for severe weather on Saturday. Then as you go into Sunday, we've got an additional 45 million plus people under the gun for severe weather. So, I mean, there's literally, we're looking at just an absurdly amount of people under the gun for severe weather. So many people are going to see significant severe weather out of this. Now, that significant risk for tomorrow includes around 25 million people overall. And then the significant risk for Saturday includes just barely under 25 million. So, in terms of a significant severe weather risk, where you have that best chance of a tornado outbreak and widespread severe weather outbreak, we have about 50 million people in that. I mean, just absolutely absurd. And again, tomorrow is definitely going to be more of a wind day. It is a linear mode, linear storm mode here. Let's go ahead and pull this out. So you can see this is a linear mode of severe weather, a line here. However, inside this line, we could get little kinks in the line that allows for southeasterly flow, and we can easily see a strong tornado threat in any of that because of how strong our forcing is along that cold front. I mean, it's just going to, as a whole, it's going to significantly increase the threat for damaging winds and multiple spin-up tornadoes, maybe even strong tornadoes as well. For tomorrow, it is a very, very serious threat. If you live in and especially north of St. Louis, we are looking at a very serious threat for upwards of 100-mile-per-hour wind gust. It is an extremely, extremely serious situation, especially for winds. And like I said, we could even end up with multiple... I got completely distracted right there. Multiple spin-up tornadoes, maybe even some strong. I'm trying to see this. Somebody who I follow on Twitter who's way smarter than I'll ever be. I gotta see what he said about this threat. Let's see here. Read this real quick. They were talking about the uncertainty in convection, how soon that convection may start. It really looks like the HRRR is just way too fast there. At least for Saturday. Alright, so once again, if you're just tuning in, this is our categorical risk from the official Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow, March 14th. And we have that moderate risk level 4 out of 5 in place in and around the St. Louis metro. So that includes eastern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, central and most of southwestern, if not all of southwestern Illinois. Western Kentucky, northwestern Tennessee, and northeastern Arkansas are all under a moderate risk for severe weather. The main threat with this will be wind gusts upwards of 100 miles per hour, widespread wind gusts of 70 to potentially 80 miles per hour. Some isolated large hail up to about 2.5-3 inch in diameter will be possible, as well as multiple spin-up tornadoes embedded inside of that line, as well as a potential for a strong tornado threat in that line as well. If we are to see any strong long track tornadoes for tomorrow, that would come on the southern side of your risk for severe weather. So right in this area is where that greatest risk for long-tracked tornadoes would be. I don't know exactly where in that area, which is why I feel like we won't see a 15 sig tor in that region. We could see a 15 sig tor in this area just due to the confidence of that line pushing through and most likely having multiple spin-up tornadoes, maybe even spin-up strong tornadoes in that area. And then, of course, we have that moderate risk. And like I said, this moderate risk for severe weather Saturday, I mean, if you didn't tune into the last live stream, the ceiling, the absolute ceiling, the highest this threat could go is a 45 significant tornado risk. And the floor, the lowest this severe threat could go is a 15 sig tor moderate risk for severe weather. So we are looking at either way, no matter what happens here, we are looking at the potential for a widespread, significant tornado outbreak with multiple strong tornadoes possible. Just in terms of over-convection or not enough convection, that may or may not limit the violent tornado potential. And just the uncertainty on exactly where that convection is going to form and exactly how messy or not messy it will be could end up preventing the Storm Prediction Center from going 30 sig high risk for Saturday on their day 2 outlook tomorrow. But the biggest thing with a high risk is bust modes. What is the chance that the event busts? What are all the fail modes? What are all the potential underperforming factors? What could make this event not perform nearly as expected? And Saturday just has like one, maybe not even one major fail mode. So with that's what gets them to issue the high risk. Is that fail mode possibility. If you don't have a lot of fail modes, that's what's going to warrant that high risk for severe weather. Of course, an upgrade from that moderate, so you should already have that very favorable environment for strong long track tornadoes, and just the confidence of putting it up to a high risk is mainly because of it doesn't have any fail modes. Oh yeah, day 2 high risk is easily possible as well. This is the if they were to go high risk for any day 2 outlook in the last like decade or so, this would almost be up there number 1 for my guess, because your environment is just so high end. I mean, there's only a handful of days that would be able to compete with the environment that we are going to see in Mississippi and Alabama on Saturday. And like I said, the big issue is going to be the confidence in a bust motor underperformance risk. But I mean, that's all up to the SPC. That's not up to me. There's a reason why I don't work at the SPC. So I'm not a degreed meteorologist. I'm just a big time weather enthusiast. But I mean, pretty much. Let me put it this way: out of all the days that I've ever tracked, almost 5 years worth of events, this is like third place with the best environment I've ever seen in in the last 5 years of me tracking severe weather. This would barely be above April 26th, 2024. There may be a few threats that I forget, but I don't really know. I've forgotten. This would be like, it would be like third or fourth bin. It'd definitely be top 5. Number 1 is probably, it would probably have to be that 45 sig in 2021, that environment. That somehow ended up underperforming thanks to just ridiculous overconvection, which the shocking thing was the HRRR that day prior actually showed overconvection being a substantial issue. So that surprised me with seeing a 45 sig on that day. But like I said, I tracked that day, but I didn't actually know how ridiculous a 45 sig tor was. Second place would probably end up being March 31st, 2023. Third place would probably be December 10th, 2021. And then this would probably be fourth. I don't think this environment's better than the Mayfield tornado environment. Um, I I mean, I guess this environment is better than March 31st, 2023, but the March 31st, 2023 environment was so large. You know, you had this huge, I don't even know how large of a extremely favorable warm sector. I mean, it was like you had like 500 miles worth of a ridiculously high-end environment, which this one is still a ridiculously high-end environment, but it's not as widespread as that day. And also March 31st was what Ben said, a double barrel high risk. So this is a more confined area than March 31st, 2023, obviously. But I think it is right there, if not slightly above March 31st, 2023. The thing is, I'll always have that. I mean, that's always going to be like a third place or so for me, unless we end up with another double barrel high risk, because that's like historic. And we'll probably never see a double barrel high risk again in our lifetime. Man. And again, this is the HRRR's simulated reflectivity for 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And you can just see every supercell, right? Like you can make out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 supercells. And most of these would be producing potentially long tracked, strong, maybe even intense to violent tornadoes. I didn't track April 27th, 2011. I was 5 at the time. So I don't recall anything of that, and I wasn't really interested in weather there. I wasn't really like, I started studying weather in terms of really being interested in trying to figure out how weather even works in 2018, and then I didn't really get into it, like start tracking it with softwares until 2020, and then I started buying a bunch of other softwares and subscriptions and finding model run sites and a bunch of other stuff in 2021. So 2021 is when my passion really exploded. And then I got better in 2022, and then 2023 was a huge improvement, and then last year I improved a lot last year in terms of tracking severe weather. I predicted way better in 2024 than I did in 2023. That is for sure. So I appreciate you guys all tuning in. We'll be live for another, like, at least another 2-ish hours, probably even a little more than that. We're looking at a 2.5, 3 hour live stream today. So yeah, make sure you hit that like button, share the stream with your family, friends, social media, because we'll be here for a while. We're not going to be going anywhere for another about 2 hours. Yes, actually, Ben, that fell under category of a tornado report yesterday. That was at 3 a.m. yesterday. I believe, was it in California? I forgot where it was, but we had an EF0 at like 3:10 a.m. technically last night. Because remember, the SPC considers a new day 12Z, which I believe 12Z is 8 a.m. Eastern now. Or is it later than that? Stupid time things screwed me over. Hey, it's 8 a.m. Yep. 12Z is 8 a.m. Alright, see you later, V. Thank you for tuning in again. Thankfully, the biggest threat will be all well off to your west and well off to your south. The next to NAM and NAM 3K rendering shortly after the HRRR. The HRRR0Z, I believe, is the first 0Z model run that begins to render, and it will start rendering in about 10 minutes. I want to go see if that glitches again real quick. I didn't see it glitch. I'll just refresh my computer, probably turn it off overnight, give it a big break. Turn it completely off before it has to run for like, I don't know how many hours. Yeah, and see, this is probably going to keep Tennessee's threat relatively at bay unless we see a really organized line of convection somewhere in here. We're just going to get a lot of mess in most of Tennessee. The highest risk in Tennessee will end up being like southern Tennessee, generally in here. Maybe as far north as Nashville, but that's as far north as our main threat for severe weather goes. If we look at their enhanced risk, how far up do they have that? Okay, they do have that enhanced risk up into southern Kentucky. I'm a little surprised, so they may be thinking the HRRR is over-convecting, and probably the NAM, too. Let's see what the NAM shows. Yeah, the NAM actually doesn't have a lot of over-convection there. So it ends up just bringing a very strong line of damaging winds through most of the state of Tennessee on Saturday, except for the far eastern state of Tennessee. Yep, 18Z HRRR is likely over-convecting in multiple different areas. And I saw someone ask, no, I do not think Saturday will go 45 sig. That is the ceiling, meaning as high of a ceiling as we could possibly get on Saturday. I don't personally think it will happen. The UTC time is so you know what time it is. And also so you can match that up with your current local time to make sure you're watching the stream as soon as possible. You're watching it live. Because some people get even hours behind in the live stream. So just always make sure those numbers relatively match up. So right now it's 8:42 p.m. Eastern. You can see that says 42 right there. So I know that I'm generally on the right time. Doing good, Catman. Glad to see you're finally awake from your 60-hour-long nap. Caleb is still on his 72-hour nap. I haven't even heard from the dude, but maybe I've missed him. He's in a moderate risk. But yep, 0Z HRRR is almost rendered in, which means it's almost time to log out of Twitter for the night. Because I don't really want to be on that site. Not with what 0Z HRRR is probably going to be showing. So once again, we've got two high-end setups for severe weather. We've got a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk tomorrow for specifically damaging winds upwards of 100 miles per hour centered over the St. Louis area. We could also see multiple spin-up strong tornadoes, maybe a long-track strong tornado specifically on the southern end with any supercells that are able to overcome the poor amount of forcing as well as the slight capping we'll have in place. We'll also have the risk for as high as, or rather, I should say, as large as 3-inch hail in diameter centered over the St. Louis metro area for tomorrow. Saturday is the big day for severe weather in terms of tornadoes. That's the day you've probably heard the most about. We're looking at a extremely high-end setup for severe weather. We could even see a high risk on the day 2 outlook, which we've only ever seen 2 of those in the history that we have recorded so far. I believe they started issuing day 2 high risks. It was an option in, I think it was in the mid 2000s. I don't think, when did that start? I don't think day 2 high risks started with the new categorical risk updates in 2014. I think it started before then. That's actually a good question. So, yeah, we had one in 2006 and one in 2012. Only two in history, but I wonder when they actually, like, invented that to be a possibility. I don't know if they've had that ever since they started doing more high resolution outlooks in 1982. That's when they started doing some SPC outlooks there. They only did you guys know they only had 3 categories back in 1982? They only had 3 categories. You had slight, moderate, high. That just looks weird. And then they did start doing more ocupacity outlooks, I believe, in like sometime between 1985 and 1987. And then finally, when the SBC got really good at forecasting, they were getting really good at forecasting. 2014, they added that addition of a marginal risk and an enhanced risk. And ever since then, your higher end risks have become way more rare. I don't know when they actually like invented day 2 high risks. The first one ever issued was on April 7th, 2006. So I suppose that's when it was a thing. But I feel like it was probably an option beforehand. They just didn't have any setups that warranted it. I'm not too sure. The marginal used to be C-text. Yep. I remember that. Even looking back on Outlooks, that's what it says. It's just C-text. Let's see over here. 0Z HRRR will begin rendering at any given moment. I was going to do soundings, but I don't know. There's so many areas. You know what I'll just do? I'll pull 2 primary soundings. One in Mississippi on Saturday. And then I'll pull one near St. Louis tomorrow. Actually, I'll pull 2 for tomorrow since we have a higher threat for maybe long track tornadoes further south. I'll only pull 3. I'm not going to do our 30 soundings like we did the other day. Alright, yeah, I'm going to pull it right there. Alright, there's sounding 1, sounding 2, sounding 3. Well, there's sounding 1, and yeah, you'll never guess. That's the one in Mississippi. Oh, actually, it's not. That's crazy. I forgot how much that thread uptrended. I keep forgetting we've had a lot of uptrends over the last 24 hours out there in Missouri, Arkansas, West Kentucky, West Tennessee. I thought that was Mississippi, but I forgot. So there you go. And the reason why we may not see any substantial updrafts, you've got a little EML in this area. Lower level lapse rates are slacking, and you don't have great forcing. But if a supercell can become sustained, just at that weak area forcing along the cold front, it is going to rapidly explode. Very rapidly explode. And that's the one in Mississippi right there. Look at that. Pinpointed it on the STP. Yeah, this one might have a little contamination with it. You got an EML, very evident EML, just under your 700 millibar. Lower level lapse rates are not the best. I wouldn't be shocked if that's just an issue on the NAM 3K. 2,500 instability, 1,100 D cape. Not a lot of 3 cape, only 47 3 cape. S tier hodograph, obviously. Good storm slinky. Not really many issues on this sounding. The only possible issue is that EML still being in place, but that would probably erode very close to this time frame. That would have already been eroded. So probably something happening here on the NAM 3K. It wouldn't surprise me. This doesn't show your absolute peak environment. And then we have one more, which is in just in front of St. Louis. But quite a bit of convection contamination. But you can see with that very extreme kinematic profile, especially in the mid-levels, on why we would be able to see a spin-up tornado, possibly a spin-up strong tornado, with any embedded areas inside that line, any embedded supercells inside the line. It would not surprise me. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, if we see a 15 sig, that's kind of right where I think it has the best chance to be. Like somewhere generally in that area, maybe a little bit eastward as well. I would say more south, but I feel like the EML or just the lack of forcing is going to prevent storms from really being robust down here. We'll see, though. We'll know more tomorrow. Although I don't expect many changes in the model runs and probably much change in the outlook for severe weather tomorrow on Friday. We'll still get better information. Nodocast does, but if I'm not mistaken, Nodocast underwent some upgrades over the last couple months, and it just hasn't came back yet. It's been, what, about a month? I forgot when it went down. February 22nd, so not even a month yet. Pretty sure it was going down for an upgrade. Zero ZHRRR. Ha! We're at 0%. There it is. There's your first frame number 0. Not even 1. Time to log out of Twitter, people. So this is our most accurate model run for tomorrow. If you didn't know, the 0Z model run for said day of your severe threat is the most accurate model run. However, I will forever always look at every other HRRR model run preceding 0Z. But the 0Z HRRR night prior is typically the most accurate. So this is a very major model run to give the SPC a decision on if they're going to pull a high-risk day 2 trigger in the morning tomorrow. And of course, we'll have the afternoon update tomorrow as well, so they could pull it at either update. I believe, is it 2:30? It's around 2 a.m. and then 2 p.m. or so, like somewhere around there for the day 2 updates. Something close to that. I do not think tomorrow will go high risk for your region, or any region for that matter, actually. And I don't think many probabilities will change either. They may add a 15 sig tor in your area pointing northward, but that's just all going to come down to their personal confidence in supercells embedded inside of the potential derecho. But regardless, your biggest threat will definitely be wind gusts upwards of 100 miles per hour, as well as multiple spin-up tornadoes, potentially a few strong spin-up tornadoes being possible. The only reason why they would go 15 sig over and north of your region is for those spin-up significant tornadoes that will happen inside the line. If they go 15 sig, that just means they have slightly higher confidence. And like I said, I don't personally see a 15 sig tour being issued out there in Arkansas, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, Western Tennessee. Just too much of a forcing issue. It doesn't mean you will get 100-mile-per-hour winds personally, but somebody in that moderate risk for severe weather has a good chance at up to 100-mile-per-hour winds. Exactly who? I have no idea. So just that general moderate risk has a chance for 90 to up to 100-mile-per-hour winds. Widespread, which means throughout much of that moderate and enhanced risk area, we'll see 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds. We are officially 3 frames in on the new HRRR now. I clicked on this thing when it was at 0%, dude. It didn't even exist and I clicked on it. I might be watching tomorrow if you are live. What question is that? You think I'd miss a moderate risk? There would have to be like an emergency for me to miss a moderate risk. And even in that case, I'd probably use my mobile data on the road or something to at least update you. I'm not going to miss a moderate risk for anything. At least I'll try not to. This is the new model run. It's just rendering in now. It's going to take about an hour to finish. We're 3 frames in. It goes out 48 frames. This particular HRRR will go out till 00Z Saturday morning, which is, no, Friday morning. Holy moly. Sunday morning. Technically, Sunday morning. My goodness. You guys want to know why I can't do overnight live streams? This is the problem. It's not even 9 o'clock. I'm already mixing up every last word I say. It will go out until 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all the way on Saturday. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Saturday's going to be able to have any type of bust mode, Isabel, but sure, we'll go with that rumor. Let's hope. Let's hope that rumor ain't a rumor. I would love to see both of these days bust. So Supercell Composite takes in a bunch of parameters and it compiles it on into one singular chart per se. I don't know the formula for it. Let's see. So it uses effective storm relative helicity as well as the most unstable instability and the effective bulk shear wind difference. So that is what it uses. So it takes those 3 different main ingredients and puts them into one product that comes out with a number. And obviously, the higher the number, the more favorable it is. All right, we're 10% in, which means we are 6 frames in. Yep, we're going to sit here until every single frame is done. Until every last frame is done rendering in. Although I may go talk about other things so that way you guys don't end up getting bored. We are already almost an hour into the stream. It really doesn't feel like that. If tomorrow is very active, which it probably will be, the live streams go by really quick. The more active it is, the quicker the live streams go by. The lunar eclipse, mid, overrated. I'm probably not going to stay up for it. It's what, 1, 2 a.m. is the peak here. Won't have a lot of clouds, but tonight might be my only night where I can get around 8 hours of sleep, so. Oh, yeah, for sure, Isabel. Definitely. Definitely. That's the number one cause for Saturday's threat, for sure. I'm gonna close some of these model runs. I have like 3 of them open on my other monitor for some reason. Oh, that should be another frame in. Yep, there's 7 frames in. Oh, we've got cells forming in Iowa on this frame. Yeah, those aren't going to do anything. It's just rain. You can see that's an old HRRR. It's literally just rain. All right, let's switch back over to Radar Omega. There you go. If you watch it, it's going to render in slower, so we're going to look away from it so that way it renders quicker. So this is... Oh, they got rid of the marginal risk today. So we no longer have a threat for severe weather today. Tomorrow, well, a little bit different there. So again, we have a level 1, level 2, level 3, and a level 4 out of 5 for severe weather for tomorrow. Again, primarily damaging winds as high as 100 miles per hour, widespread 70 to 80 miles per hour, and some isolated large hail as large as 3-inch in diameter will be possible. Oh, and there's chat freezing up on me again. Stupid Streamlabs. It has not been very kind to me on this live stream. Or before this live stream. It was kind to me earlier today at 3 p.m. when we were live, but now it's not being too nice. And then, of course, we have Saturday's threat with the very large level 1 marginal, large level 2 slight, large level 3 enhanced, now level 4 out of 5 moderate risk for severe weather. And if you weren't here just a couple minutes ago, I'm expecting this to be upgraded to a high risk generally in this vicinity here. I don't know exactly where because I'm definitely not the SPC. But somewhere in there, I'm expecting to see a high risk issued, probably at the day 1 outlook. It's definitely a very real possibility that we wake up to a day 2 high risk. That is a very, very real possibility. And there's even a chance that we see a day 2 high risk update in the afternoon hours as well. So you have 2 opportunities for it to go day 2 high risk. And both of those, it's definitely very possible. But I'm not too sure exactly which one's more likely. I'd say it's definitely more likely for day 1 to be a high risk for severe weather compared to a day 2, but then again, day 2 is like right there, considering how much confidence there is in long tracked strong tornadoes. Yes, Ethan, I know. Just because it's happened twice before doesn't mean it's never going to happen again. And we are very much due for one. I haven't had one in, what, almost 13 years. Ethan, I said it in this live stream, and I said it multiple times in the last live stream too, so. But there you go. There's your 45 significant chance for overall severe weather already there from the SPC. Let me go up here. Well, your message made it seem like you thought it was impossible for this to go day 2 high risk when it's a very real possibility. All right, there we go. So we'll just wait. We'll just wait for the rest of that 0Z triple R to render in, and I don't know if exactly when the NAM starts. I've forgotten. I just know the H triple R 0Z. Why was April 27th, 2011 not a day 2 high risk? Go ask the SPC. I don't know. Like I said, I was 5 at the time, buddy. I have no idea. I have zero idea. Ethan, weren't you like 2 at the time or something? There's no way you know. I could look at there. I don't think there was at least I don't think I can access the discussion. Can I? Ooh, I can. Let's see. They wrote it all in caps. I didn't think I would be able to actually see this. Hmm. I mean, they definitely had some very high-end wording. So storms would be in progress on the morning of the 27th. Yes. There is uncertainty on destabilization across the risk region. This uncertainty precludes any upgrade to a high risk probability at this time. However, most other indications are strongly suggesting that a major outbreak of severe storms will be commencing tonight into tomorrow. So it was because of uncertainty on instability and moisture return and just the overall recovery of the atmosphere after that morning line that went through on the 27th. Sweet. Well, now I know. We'll see what their reasoning is for not going day 2 high risk for tomorrow if they don't. Which I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I mean, the SPC's conservative, so it wouldn't surprise me. $14 frames in, so we're at 14Z on Friday, which is tomorrow. We've got still quite a ways to go there. Yeah, the 0Z model runs definitely are a huge role in if they go high risk. for day 2. They are actually the biggest roll. I don't think there's a bigger roll. I was going to say, definitely don't turn this to no slow mode. Who broke chat? There you go. Trying to break the chat over here, cat man. First time in 3 days you tune in and you're already breaking things. This is the NAM 3K 18Z for tomorrow. I mean, you could just see the intense bowing of this storm here and the strong forcing behind it. So definitely going to have a very substantial wind threat tomorrow by far. It is going to be a crazy wind bag tomorrow. Like I said, definitely possible that we see a derecho. Definitely possible that we see a derecho tomorrow. All right, let's go back to the 00Z HRRR. We are at 16Z Friday, so we're about, give or take 4 hours. Give or take 4 hours before storms initiate on this model run. Well, thankfully, I live pretty far from you, Catman, so I don't know if you're going to get that opportunity. What if they go high risk for wind tomorrow? Then they do. Like, what do you mean? I mean, sure, it will definitely cause a lot of panic in the entire community, and I don't really see a way how that's even possible to see a high risk for wind. I mean, the confidence in a derecho would have to be through the roof. Like a 60 sig wind, like we would be talking probably like 120 mile per hour winds. Maybe even more than that, to be honest with you. And I just don't see that type of wind threat happening with tomorrow or many other events either. There's not many events that we've ever had that actually get wind threats as high as 120 miles per hour. Oh, Legacy, I'll make sure not to be driving at the end of this month. Thank you for the warning. Let's see. I see an instability uptrend in Arkansas on 00Z HRRR. Yes, the only high risks we can have is a high risk for tornadoes or a high risk for winds. And the only high risk for winds is a 60 sig wind. A 60% wind would not count. It would have to be a 60 sig wind. And then, of course, 30%, 30 sig, 45 sig, 60%, and 60 sig tor all go high. There's not extreme confidence for a high risk tomorrow. If you mean like a day 2 high risk being issued, I mean, we definitely could see that. But if you're talking about like a high risk for wind tomorrow, yeah, no, I just don't see it. I'm not too sure if we've ever seen a 60 sig wind. We probably have at some point. I don't really know how to look at that. Maybe at some point we saw that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it. Thank you guys for 100 likes on the live stream. That's greatly appreciated. We've hit every like goal for like the last 6 some live streams, so that's really, really appreciated. And there's initiation on the HRRR. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yes, that is... Holy crap, that is 1, 2... That is like 2, almost 3 hours sooner on the HRRR. Why? What? Like, what is that? That's not even where your freaking cold front dry line is. It's way back here. The 0ZH did slow down on the cold front. That's good. That might help with the quick bias on Saturday. What is that? What is it doing? Like, hello? It's just bringing a random line of storms ahead of the actual cold front for tomorrow. What in the world, HRRR? Why are you so weird? Sure, I'll quickly do it right now. Pete. So, for the state of Tennessee, your risk for tomorrow is primarily going to be damaging winds and a few spin-up strong tornadoes, as well as the opportunity for as high as, or rather, I keep saying as large as 3-inch in diameter hail, specifically on the northwest side of Tennessee. If you're closer to Memphis, that hail threat drops down to about 2-inch in diameter as opposed to 3. So the main threat will definitely end up being damaging winds, spin-up strong tornadoes, and some isolated very large hail into the night and overnight hours tomorrow. Then we'll move on into Saturday, where most of the state of Tennessee is under a slight risk, as well as an enhanced risk for severe weather. That enhanced risk for severe weather will primarily be for most likely damaging winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour, as well as multiple spin-up tornadoes, some of which may be able to be strong, and some isolated large hail. I don't think hail will be as large on Saturday. Probably the highest hail we could see in Tennessee is around 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75-inch hail in diameter. I don't think it will be that large. In terms of future radar, well, we are getting new model runs rendering in now, so I'll be able to give you an update on this when those finish. But currently what we are looking at for Tennessee. So we're going to see this just really a cluster of storms. Some of these may be able to mature up into a mature supercell, and if it does, we could see a long-track strong tornado somewhere in that cluster. This is for 11 p.m. tomorrow night, midnight Central, 1 a.m. Central, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then by 8 p.m., or rather 8 a.m., my bad, 8 a.m. Central, we should see most of that convection die out, and it should just be very scattered rain showers. Then we'll see a very large amount of heavy rain move through Tennessee, pretty much the entire state of Tennessee in the early afternoon hours near 1 p.m. Central Time Saturday afternoon. And the greatest threat in Tennessee will probably end up being with the potential for a QLCS line of spin-up tornadoes, some of which may be strong, and then widespread 60 to 70 mile per hour winds as high as 80 mile per hour wind gust. There is uncertainty on how notable that QLCS will be. The HRRR has that QLCS actually being on the southern side, as opposed to on the northern side. So this whole area on the HRRR ended up just being moderate rain as opposed to an actual damaging wind event. 5 p.m. Central, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is midnight Central Time now, technically Sunday morning, and then it ends. Our model run is over at 1 a.m. Central Time, Sunday morning. So the greatest threat in the state of Tennessee will most likely end up being just west of Nashville. At the moment, that's the area that looks to be in the highest risk for severe weather in both severe weather days, both tomorrow and as well as Saturday. I was going to say Sunday. Arkansas, your main threat's definitely going to be tomorrow night. There's a lot of uncertainty on if we'll actually be able to see supercells fire, but if any of these storms do get going, they could end up producing a long track strong tornado threat. So we're keeping an eye on that. But there's a lot of uncertainty on if storms will even be able to fire there. Let's go look at the HRRR again. So there's that main line of damaging winds starting to form on the ZRZ HRRR. It really begins to fire east of Kansas City here. Around, let's see, that's, 5 Eastern. Yeah, 5 Eastern, 4 Central. Then that continues eastward here, 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. And there you go. There's your strong tornado threat starting up on that newest frame of the HRRR. Still a very aggressive, damaging wind threat and tornado threat, as well as a possible strong tornado threat there as well. See if there's anything new over here. Let's see here. Okay. Next frame. See how bad this one is. Yikes. And still notice how there's no convection. There's no convection on the southern side. Right in here. No convection. But it's still a very potent environment. Very potent environment there. You can see the capping in place as well. So capping and forcing is both an issue there. But again, you can see that quite widespread threat for 80 plus mile per hour winds there. This is getting into 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. So yeah, and any of those storms that have any bow echo features could easily produce as high as 90 and maybe even isolated as high as 100 mile per hour winds there. Convection is storms. So there's no storms in northern Arkansas. They're starting to fire, though. You can see it now. How much decape? That's a good question. Last time I looked, there was like 900 on the model runs. But I haven't looked in a while. I'll take a sounding northwest of St. Louis on a different monitor. I'll also take it on the NAM model. I took one on the NAM and the NAM 3K. Probably the two worst model runs you could take soundings on. 700 decape northwest of St. Louis. And this one has 700 decape as well. I really think you're going to need 100 plus to get that potential 100 mile per hour wind gust. However, what's going to help, even with the slightly lower decape, is the trough. You're going to have that extremely strong jet stream across Missouri, Arkansas, into Iowa as well, with your very strong lower level jet stream spreading the entire region. So that's going to help with forcing and just overall help bow out the line itself. It looks like this does have... Oh my goodness. What a scenario. Look at that. Right over the city of St. Louis. Are you kidding me, HRRR? Gracious day. The stupid thing is that would probably produce a strong to intense long track tornado. But The good news is the chance of that actually happening is very slim. It is very, very slim. But our greatest long-tracked tornado threat would be on that southern end. Like I said, for a long-tracked tornado threat, it would be near and south of St. Louis. But just the overall confidence in a strong tornado threat would be near and north of St. Louis. So that's where I have the most confidence in strong tornadoes happening. And this is where we have a conditional long-tracked strong tornado threat. So on both of those, St. Louis is right in it, right in the middle. Oh my word. This model run literally just targets St. Louis. That has a low chance of actually occurring, even though it's on our model run. These models are still, they're not exactly correct. You're going to see it shift around very, very much over the next 12 to 16 hours. But just, that's your high end in St. Louis right there. That's your high end in St. Louis. Semi-discrete storms in St. Louis and to your south, producing potentially multiple long-tracked strong tornadoes, maybe even an intense tornado or two. Very high winds, gusts as high as 90, even as high as 100 miles per hour if they have any bow echoes with them. And then that's also where your large hail threat would be too. If we did have that, that would definitely be an opportunity for large hail of 3-inch in diameter being a possibility there. I don't think we have the possibility for a violent tornado tomorrow. I just don't feel like the ingredients are that high end. I mean, we'll have what, 60 dews with 67, 68 temps. Like 1,500 instability, right? Yep. I just don't personally think it will happen. I don't think we really have that possibility. Now, if they go 15 sig for St. Louis pointing south, then we will. But if that 15 sig is more north like this or something, then probably not. It just depends, because the overall, what I'm trying to get at here is St. Louis south. That's where your long-tracked strong tornado threat is a possibility, but it's more conditional, meaning there is the chance that we don't even see storms fire in some of that area for tomorrow evening. Whereas on the north side, there's a very high confidence in a line forming, and it's a line, so it's linear. That means there's a lower chance for strong tornadoes, but the forcing will be so significant, and there will be so many embedded cells that will have that opportunity for multiple strong tornadoes. So they could pull a moderate risk for significant tornadoes, 15 sig tor, anywhere in that area that I've outlined. They may do just the northern side of it, they may do just the southern side of it, or they may just flop a big fat old 15 sig over all of it. It just depends on the SPC's personal confidence there. And look at that. There is your HRRR. Look at that. It is indeed igniting overnight strong tornadoes across Tennessee and Mississippi, Louisiana. This is 1 a.m. This is 1 a.m. Saturday morning. And you've got a strong tornado threat in both of those areas. Which is a very real possibility. That is something that we're looking out for. Which that overall may slightly lower the threat for severe weather on Saturday. However, it's not. It is not a good scenario because you still end up with strong tornadoes. It is a lose-lose scenario. Either those storms don't form and we get a higher end threat Saturday, or they do form, they produce potentially strong tornadoes, and then we still end up with a pretty high end day on Saturday. Just slightly less. We'll see how the rest of these frames progress. There's a new one. Oh, well, there was a new one for Tennessee, but now it won't render in for Mississippi. You saw me pull that out one more, right? Now it just won't pull out now. But from here on out, Twitter is about to freak out if they're not already freaking out about the 3 supercells that went over St. Louis on the 0ZHRRR. And they are. I just clicked on it, and the first thing I see is 3 people saying 15 sig tour over St. Louis, question mark. Oh, wow. Gracious day. That's all I'm seeing. They're all over the St. Louis sig tours. Jeez. Come on, Twitter. You're so predictable. Oh, look at that. They actually grew clustered pretty quickly and started to die out. But look, we're getting a lot of convection here. We're getting a lot of convection in the warm sector compared to 18Z. There is a notable increase in convection. You already made a post about it. Doesn't surprise me. So is half of Twitter at the moment in the weather community. Now we just need to see the next few frames here, see if those actually turn into mature supercells over central Alabama in the morning hours. You guys are saying good, but remember, this is a volatile environment still. Not as volatile as what we'll be seeing Saturday afternoon, but that is an issue. You do realize that this could knock out power and weather resources and produce strong tornadoes in the morning hours, right? Like, that's not good. There's no good scenario here. That's still bad. I don't think good is the right wording here. It would be good if it was a large area of moderate rain that wasn't in such a favorable environment. However, these are clustered to semi-discrete supercells in a near volatile environment in the morning. You could see, look at that. You got another one right there. And look at that. You've actually got one north of Nashville, too. So there's your conditional overnight strong tornado threat. This is just around 4 a.m. Eastern, I believe. And that would pose a potential strong tornado threat just north of Nashville there in the very early morning hours. So that's all it takes. All it takes is one good updraft to get going, and then you're going to have the potential for a long track tornado near Nashville or somewhere around there. So a moderate risk is high risk is less likely now. Yeah, buddy. Sure, sure. If you want to base it solely off of Saturday morning, and we're not even into the afternoon hours right now, sure. If this scenario right here played out, and this is where Saturday stopped, yeah, we wouldn't see a high risk. But guess what? You still got another 18 hours or so of Saturday left. So yeah, we're probably still going to see a high risk. And there you go. You got three clustered supercells across southwest Alabama in the morning hours. Look at that. So you can see that makes a big dent in the warm sector here. Big dent in the warm sector over southwestern Alabama. But I could nearly guarantee you that's going to still... If that doesn't stay there, and it moves to the northeast and gets out of the environment and starts to die out, the HRRR is probably going to recover that area of lack of instability. But Hey, keep in mind, y'all. This is the dent it's made. This is our warm sector. That's the tiniest little bit of our warm sector. That is a sliver of our warm sector. That is not a big major bust fail mode right there. That's a little tiny area of your warm sector that's being used. And look at that. That is probably, if that were to happen, we'd probably have the chance for multiple embedded strong tornadoes there. But now it is getting out of that good environment on that newest frame 35. So frame 36, it should weaken somewhat. We'll see. And again, this is just one of the thousands of scenarios that could happen on Saturday. There is thousands of different scenarios. And this is just one that the HRRR has portrayed here on 00Z, which is typically our more accurate model run, though. The 00Z night prior, which is for Saturday, that's not this model run, actually. This is the most accurate model run for tomorrow. So tomorrow's 00Z, this time tomorrow, Friday, March 14th, will be the most accurate model run for Saturday. And it is starting to weaken there. Also, may I point out here how there is on the new HRRR, there is all that convection that was in Tennessee and Alabama. That's what's down here now. So the HRRR 18Z shifted from up here to putting that convection at 00Z now down here. And that's probably... You can see the big dent that makes in your warm sector. That does leave quite the dent now. You can see that's a pretty dang good dent in your warm sector, all right in here. A little too far east, like right in here. That is putting a good dent in it. But is that dent enough? Probably not. Probably not. Especially if the HRRR actually slowed down. Which I'm not sure if it did. I won't be able to tell until the storms start to really get going on the front. Wow, that's a lot of overconvection. Now, see, that's going to hurt. That's what I was talking about. That's more widespread crapvection. That would hurt your warm sector a lot. That is indeed a downtrend right there. Because look at that. It's moved. This was your overconvection pretty well north, still in the warm sector, but not in the main warm sector. And now the 00Z flops it in the dead center warm sector. So that is indeed a downtrend. We'll see what it does with the rest of the model run. It's probably going to be pretty finicky and funny here. I don't really know what it's going to do. And don't be surprised if tomorrow morning we start considering this one an outlier. It's definitely possible that the 06Z goes back the 18Z way. I don't really know what's happening here. I mean, now your warm sector is split in half. I don't really know what's happening. I guess that overconvection is really hurting your warm sector. That entire northern warm sector is just hurt. You can see your main warm sector now trying to push northward. That's your main warm sector, which if we compare that to the 18Z, you can see that main warm sector on the 18Z was way up here. Whereas on the 00Z, that main warm sector has shifted way down here. So that's quite the downtrend. Alright. Pack it up. Risk is done. HRRR didn't show super outbreak. Pack it up. No high risk. Get rid of the moderate risk. Downtrend to marginal. It's over. That's a joke, y'all. That's what someone on Twitter is gonna say. Isabel, tweet it. Go ahead. You know you want to. Alright, that's just giving crap vection everywhere. Yeah, this is a good downtrend. At the start, this was not a downtrend, seeing those strong tornado potentials in the morning hours. But now it looks like it's crap vection everywhere. Watch it somehow recover the entire freaking warm sector over the course of 6 hours. Wouldn't that be insane? Imagine. The freaking morning convection doesn't even stop it. That would be crazy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why did chat just go so fast? Hey, Johnson, welcome to the EF3 member club. Glad to see you in the stream again, and thank you for becoming a supporter. It's really appreciated. The chat was moving at like 1,000,000 miles per hour. I thought I was a celebrity for a second. It was just chat stopped for like 5 minutes straight, and then it just all rendered back in like yesterday. Oh my goodness, it's actually gonna freaking recover. Oh my goodness, it's actually gonna freaking recover. Oh my goodness, it's gonna freaking recover. Oh my word, it's actually going to recover. No way. No way. No way it recovers from all that crap vection. Are you kidding me? It's actually going to recover. We'll wait for the next few frames, but wow. It's seriously going to recover from all of that crap vection. That is if it successfully does, that is a top 10 HRRR model run of all time right there. If it's able to rapidly recover like that, that would be insanity. That would be mind-blowing if it does. And keep in mind, this is still, this is like 10 a.m. still. Oh, well, now that new frame we just looked at right there, that's noon. April 27th, our recovery. Oh my goodness, it's actually doing it. Look at it. Strong tornadoes right there, embedded inside of this mess. Look at them. There's already 4 of them. Wow. I am... Look at that. Significant tornado parameter of almost 13, over 13, 15. Oh my goodness. It actually recovered. That has to be one of the craziest recoveries I've ever seen of the HRRR. It does absolutely screw over Tennessee's threat, though. Look at that. Tennessee's threat is almost non-existent. So there's something good, but man. And these are acting as like clustered prefrontals here. You see that? Like they're just acting as like clustered prefrontals, and every time they move north, there's just a huge batch of instability that follows behind them. You see it? It moves north, and there's just this huge batch of instability that pulls north with it. Definitely some funny stuff happening here. Like, what? Look at the difference between 18Z with a relatively clear warm sector in front, much more north warm sector versus the 00Z. So it definitely did a big, big dent in the warm sector. It would definitely be a smaller area for significant tornadoes, but it would still be a very significant threat. And there you go. There's your long tracked, intense tornado threat right there. There she is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 updraft helicity tracks, with 2 more over north central Alabama. There you go. And it somehow successfully recovered from, what, 6 hours of convection? Look at this. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hours of convection in this one area right here. 12 hours of convection. And that sucker still, it's still destabilized perfectly fine. Like nothing ever happened. After 12 hours of convection. Gracious day. What a model run. And it's not even over yet. That's the bad thing. That's the bad thing, is it's not even over yet. See what the rest of this has. We've got 4 more frames left, and there you go. Still continuing with that strong tornado threat. Still keeping with the over-convection HRRR biased there. That's not gone away. So I imagine tomorrow's model runs may look completely different than what we're seeing here. They are probably going to look quite different if they don't have so much convection biased. Let's go see what Twitter's saying. Let's see. I can't say that on stream. Yep. Twitter's freaking out. Because that air mass recovery was just insane. That's just not something that I've seen in a hot minute. Maybe not even ever. That was just insane recovery right there. Still going. Still go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 updraft helicity tracks. Look at the S2P. Look at the updraft helicity tracks. Gonna be worse than James Sparrow meme. Every time I say updraft helicity tracks, that goes right in my mind. These go over my family's house. This right here goes over my family's house in Alabama. And this little sucker right here is gonna go right for him. That's gonna go right for him. Oh my word. It gets messier but crazier at the same time. Look at that recovery. Look at that recovery. Look at that recovery. I mean, gracious. Not sure what happened to your little boys down here, but they all died. Something happened to them. Look at them. And what's up with the little guys? What happened? They're in a freaking volatile environment that we haven't seen in a very long time. They just died. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the HRRR may not be right here. I know this is about to sound crazy, but I don't think this is as bad as these runs get. I think we are going to have some crazier runs on the HRRR. Even though that air mass recovery was S tier plus, it was higher than you can get on the ranking. I think there's still going to be crazier runs. Look at the updraft Felicity tracks. Look at the updraft Felicity tracks. Look at the STP. Dude, that's some wild updraft Felicity tracks, yeah. That 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 air mass recovery is just not something I've seen on a model run in so long. I just gotta say. That's just not something I've seen in so long. But man, those are some crazy updraft Felicity tracks. One more frame, and then we are done with the 0Z HRRR. Why does it say 0Z NAM? Can you stop bugging? 0Z NAM 3K has begun to render. We'll probably be live for most of that as well. That is just one of the, I'm like, what Ben just said. TRG.exe has stopped working. Yep. My brain just can't process what I just saw. It's starting up again. It's starting up again. Look at it. Starting back up again in northern Alabama. Let's see what the next frame shows. One more frame. One more frame. This is about to be the craziest model run ever, man. Yep, there you go. Twitter just said that is a Hall of Fame run right there. I mean, seriously, that air mass recovery is something I've probably never seen on a model run, unless we're talking like, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I don't think I can talk about anything in that case. I don't think I've seen that before. And why is there a Supercell? Why is there a third round Supercell in North Central Mississippi? What is the HRRR doing? What is bro doing? Like, huh? What's that thing doing there? Who let bro go over there? Like, what? Buddy, you just went through 4 rounds. Why is there another storm? And why is there actually Cape still there after like 3 different air mass recoveries? It's crazy. What is this run? And you still on the last frame of the model run, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 updraft Felicity tracks. What is that run? There's your updraft Felicity tracks. Dude. Go look up here too. Dang. St. Louis cooked right there. That is a crazy 0Z run. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen. That is a run for the books. Like, literally. I am jaw-dropped with this run. There was so many things that happened. Three St. Louis supercells. A freaking derecho, 100-mile-an-hour wind. Like, look at that. I mean, this just has to be one of the craziest runs I've ever seen of the HRRR. And again, just acknowledge that air mass recovery. 12 hours of crap convection over west central Alabama, and you still get strong tornadoes. Oh my goodness. Both areas, too. And like I said, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I don't think this is as bad as it gets for Dixie Alley. I think we're going to have runs that show worse than this. I think this is about as bad as it gets for the St. Louis area because, goodness me, I pray that doesn't happen. But I think we could actually get worse runs for Dixie Alley. Now let's move to the NAM 3K. You guys ready to do this all over again? Woohoo! Ready to do it all over again with even more of an over-convection and also an under-convection biased model run. It's got over-convection bias for some areas, and then it does under-convection for open warm sector confluence bands. We're doing it all over again. This one's going to render in quicker, though, because it has 60 frames to go through. Give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and tweet this on Twitter. I'm just going to add to the chaos. You know what? I'm not going to do the... I'm going to just do the updraft Helicity tracks. I'm going to do the James Spann meme over here. And then Dixie Alley is going to be the one that I do instability here. I mean, look at that big dent in the warm sector, man. Big dent in it in western Alabama. That is just crazy. And then you already know updraft Helicity tracks because I don't want to show so many frames of the HRRR. Gracious day. That is just insane. What did I just witness? Dude. Yeah, we're still up for a day 2 high risk, y'all. Just in case. I don't see snow on this run. That would have been crazy, Lucy, if freaking St. Louis gets slabbed and then the next day gets snow on the HRRR. That would have made this run even more wild. Again, this is just a run, so this exact scenario is highly unlikely, but it does give you an idea of just how high-end these events, both tomorrow and Saturday, could be. I think that HRRR was an outlier. You think? Dude. That was insane. I know I keep saying that, but that's like the only word I got for it. It's just insanity. My goodness. 12 hours of crap vection. And that thing literally still ends up producing multiple strong to potentially violent tornadoes, even with 12 hours of morning convection. 12! 12 hours of morning crap vection, and it still produced such a significant run. It's crazy. The HRRR likely has like no EML in place. That's why. It probably has like no EML overnight Saturday or overnight Friday into Saturday morning. I really hope that model runs wrong too. St. Louis is definitely under the gun for a threat as high as that. You know, multiple long track strong tornadoes and gusts as high as 90, 100 miles per hour. But I'm hoping something goes horrifically wrong in the atmosphere tomorrow to the point where we don't have to deal with anything even remotely close to that. I mean, that is just up there with one of the craziest runs ever. I'm trying to think of a crazier one. I think one run that instantly pops in my mind. Instantly. HRRR, March 31st, 2023. That is a model run that pops in my mind as one of the craziest HRRR model runs I've ever seen. And I think this one is a close second or third. Lucky, did you see the HRRR?
Checked anything yet? I just got home.
Oh my word, you gotta go look at the air mass recovery it does, dude.
Alrighty.
It is insane. Like, you start looking at the HRRR for Dixie Alley and you're like, yeah, it's cooked. Pack it up. It's Jover. Nothing's gonna happen. And then just a little bit later on that run, it goes insane. Also, look at St. Louis for tomorrow. Lucky about to get flashbanged. Probably not wrong there.
Alright, 00Z. Am I looking for tomorrow or Saturday?
Both. Tomorrow in St. Louis and then Saturday in the Deep South, obviously.
Which one's more crazy?
Both.
Okay,
I'd say the air mass recovery on Saturday is probably the craziest thing.
Alright, let's see. Alright, Saturday at 8Z. Let's see. So, alright, so we got this. Oh. I mean,
Wait till you get later, right over St. Louis. I think he's... Yep, there it is.
What?
Freaking 3 supercells semi-discrete over near St. Louis and over St. Louis. And the NAM.
Oh, I'm not gonna look at that.
Oh, look at the NAM right over St. Louis too. Oh my goodness. Whoa, who's letting the NAM initiate out there in Arkansas? That's something.
Lucky.exe has stopped working. Would you like to repair it?
No.
Please refresh your computer.
Do not repair. I wonder if that's gonna show.
Are you sure you do not want to repair? Bro, are we serious right now?
That HRRR is like, it's like the second third best run I've ever seen from the HRRR. Go. Yep, it is. That's what everyone's thinking. Shall I unmute you now? No. I'm just kidding. Probably about an hour because I want to see the NAM 3K fully in. I want to see the NAM 3K completely render in. Or at least completely render in till like Saturday night, right? 00Z. Saturday night. Give you a time. Like, what do you mean? For you to start? Yeah. I did, yeah. It was at the thumbnail that I sent. Here comes the NAM 3K, about to go crazy. Y'all ready for it? Each frame from here on out goes crazy. Most likely. I'm gonna unmute you, okay? Okay. Also, I'm gonna push my chair back a little bit. What? Why'd you scream at us?
Oh, nothing. I was just pretending. That was my reaction to the HRRR. I really do not want to look at the NAM. I'm scared to, actually.
I think I shrunk a little bit, y'all. I have to fix that. Chair, come up. It just went down more. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. I can't be this short, bro. I'm Lucky's height. I'll be right back.
This dude.
All right, I got it. I can't be Lucky's height, man.
Guys, I'm not that short, okay?
Okay, I think that's good. Is that
Calm down,
good?
guys.
Yeah, that's good. I can't be Lucky's height over here, freaking
Guys,
4'9".
calm down. It's calm 4'9".
I'm shorter than Isabel over here.
Change the 4 to 5, and then we're good.
You wish.
Nah, I'm actually technically no. Actually,
311. There you go. That's being generous.
What? 311? And that's
311.
generous?
Yep. Don't worry. 311. You're just barely shorter than Isabel.
Yo!
I wonder if she's still in here.
You can't be for real, can you?
He's
You're not.
310. Yeah, you're right. He is
Oh,
maybe a little shorter. I think 310 is even being a bit
bro, I'm
generous.
310 on a bad
I'm
day.
6'3". Jeez.
Who's 6'3"?
How's the weather up there? Oh.
Ah.
Like, dang. Here comes the NAM 3K. It's going crazy already. 23Z.
Right, I DMs.
I'm waiting for the rest of this run. Hurry up, NAM 3K. You're supposed to be a little quicker. Schedule it for like 10:40 and then pull it back 10.
The 10:10. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
The Waco.
So 10. So do that,
Definitely
and
the
then
Waco.
back up to where I.
What you
said,
sent.
right?
Yep.
Okay. I bet.
Exactly. Anybody order a derecho here?
I
Because
did.
that's what the NAM's cooking up.
I did.
How confident that you think it could happen in St. Louis? 3 discrete supercells all over St. Louis? I don't think so.
It said, "Oh, so it's Lucky's fault."
But it is possible that we see a couple tornadoes that could be strong near and around St. Louis. And it's also possible that we see 90 to as high as 100-mile-an-hour winds somewhere in that moderate risk area. I think we'll see 90 or 100-mile-an-hour winds. And that moderate.
The NAM goes till the NAM goes till Sunday morning, right? At the end of the run, right?
Sorry, I was reading chat. What?
There you go. The NAM goes till
The NAM's
Sunday
gonna go
morning,
into
right?
Sunday. Yeah, that's almost gonna get to our threat.
Kind of curious to see what
Let me see what that's gonna get to.
the next time Lucky comes over, he is gonna break one. No,
Oh,
guys,
never mind. The
no.
18Z's already in for our area. Yeah, it shows trash. As expected.
Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna break TRG's chair. I'm actually gonna be on the floor.
Then it'll break my floor.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys.
What is
That's
up with
where we
that?
ended
What?
here.
Why does the NAM 3K have a fully semi-discrete supercell? Bro, you're supposed to have a linear biased. Look at that. That's a full-blown semi-discrete classic supercell on the NAM 3K. I want to see that on Radar Omega. Frame 26. I don't think we're far enough in yet. How many frames are we on Radar Omega? We're 15 in. I want to see that on Radar Omega because that's absurd. And notice how St. Louis only gets light to moderate rain here. And the main tornado threat stays off to their west and goes up to the north-northeast like that. So that's why you shouldn't panic over just one singular model run. There you go. There's a different scenario for you right there on the NAM 3K. Still, you still end up with a ridiculous wind bag and multiple spin-up tornadoes, some of which would probably be strong.
Bro, do you see the Zoo Cat Man, bro? I said I'm gonna sit on the floor, and he said, why? Because you're 311. Is that why you're on the floor? And then bro's like, Bro is gonna yell at me in DMs. You know what? Just one time I'll let it slide, only because it's a good day today.
It is? These model
Yep.
run trains have been horrific.
Oh no, for me it's been a good day. Not for the model runs.
Have you seen the 0ZH RRR? It has not been a good day.
Yeah, no, it's not a good day for that, but it's a good day for me just in general.
Yeah, I don't know what the NAM 3K is exactly doing for the evening threat here. It just kills the threat after, like... I mean, it just kills the threat after, like, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. that derecho threat's dying off rapidly. And then you do get 2-3 more hours of strong tornado potential, but midnight, the threat's pretty much cut off. Well, this has been an insane model run trends. We'll see how the NAM 3K varies in this all. We're getting into the overnight hours now. Into Saturday morning.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it kills the threat for St. Louis, but we still end up with isolated areas of 90 to 100 mile per hour winds northwest of St. Louis. Like I said, somebody in that moderate risk area, which is somewhere generally in that region there, that's not exact. Somebody in that area is going to see potentially 90 to 100 mile an hour winds. Not everyone in that is going to end up with... Some of you guys might not even end up with many storms, honestly. Especially on the southern side, there's a chance we don't even see much more than light to moderate rain. This also destroys the overnight strong tornado threat in after like central Illinois, which is really, really, really good. Now, what's bad? Well, if you didn't notice, there's the 00ZH RRR at 07Z Saturday morning. The NAM, no convection in the open warm sector. None. So you just have a very rapidly destabilizing atmosphere. And there you go. There's your big difference. See? We could literally have a bunch of crap vection in the open warm sector or legit none. But unfortunately, both ways we end up with strong to violent tornadoes.
Ow.
No, I'm really not, Caden. No.
Ow.
No, I'm really not. But it's another tool in the toolbox. You'll never see me fully trust the NAM 3K.
TRG, you want to unmute me? Or mute me?
Sure, I'll unmute you. Go ahead, say that you stubbed your toe on your chair. Yep, I know. Yeah, he did. Thank you, Hoop, for the $5 donation, and you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Scorp, for the $2 donation. $2 for Lucky's 2'11". No, you're muted, remember? Good job. Yes, I hope it's still there, Lucky. The HRRR is definitely more accurate than the NAM. However, you got to really look for a mean between the model runs, right? You don't look for, like, you don't take the HRRR's exact 0Z run to heart. You got to look between a difference, an average. What is the RAP, the HRRR, the NAM 3K, the GFS, the Euro-Canadian model run? What do all those have on the threat? And then kind of try to average that out. And then that's how you come up with the SPC's moderate risk. We're finally getting convection here in the morning, but man, I mean, that's going to be rapid destabilization in the afternoon. Get ready. Here on out, every frame's going to be crazy because the sun's about to rise up, and yeah, you're about to see the NAM go absolutely wild. You are unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say derecho seems likely tomorrow, but it's definitely possible. It's difficult to say how long that line's gonna last. That line's gotta last 240 miles, being severe. Oh, we can actually get a spoiler because the normal NAM goes out further. Gracious day. Oh, dude, look at that uptrend. Dude, oh my goodness. I knew it was gonna be bad. Oh my goodness. This is about to be a wild 3K run here. Oh my word. Dude, you definitely want to log out of Twitter on this one. It does have an under-convecting bias, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lot of updraft listed tracks with this. Man. Dude. Yeah, even if the HRRR was even if it printed like a ridiculous outbreak or nothing for Saturday, don't put all your stock into one model run, period. Into discussion. I see some people doing that on Twitter, and they're saying, like, yeah, no high risk. Just simply because the HRRR over convex. No, don't put all your stock into a single model run. Ever. That's just the end of discussion right there. Never. Because when's the last time you saw a model run be extremely dead on precise and dead accurate? Here, I'll give you the answer. Never. You've never seen a model run actually be completely 100% correct, have you? Because they're
No,
not.
never.
They're
It's
never.
it's a the word. It's not an experimental, but it's I don't know the
Scenario?
word. It's yeah. It shows. It's like an example of what may happen. It's not. It may not fully happen. It may happen, but not 100%. It just gives us an idea of what may happen. That's why we always use it. Sometimes on definitely on lower end risks, and I'm pretty sure it's happened maybe a couple times for like the not so big but bigger risks that capping just stops it. Like that, like that's all the thing. You gotta look at like everything. You can't just rely on what it says the radar might look like in X amount of hours. You gotta like use all the products and analyze it and kind of like I guess kind of like pinpoint what may happen, but not everyone's gonna be right. No, I don't think anyone's gonna be 100% right, but it gives us like an idea and it gives us a better chance of knowing what may happen. But yeah, my bad. That was a little
Hopefully, you didn't say
lucky.
anything too controversial because I wasn't paying attention.
Bro just said lucky. Take your own advice. What do you mean? Lucky brain is braining. Okay, guys. Okay, you have to like I'm like, probably like one of the dumbest people in the world. And I just said some facts. Yo,
Finally, you said something that I can get behind. One of the dumbest
oh,
people in the world.
bro, what, bro, yo, this, oh my, you
I
know
think I
what?
just found a free site. Lucky, explore this whilst you have time.
Let's see, let's
I'm
see.
trying to find their TOS to see if I can use it. Oh, here's a disclaimer.
What is it?
Fair
Okay, so
use disclaimer.
we're gonna go to, bro. There's no Midwest. It's tornado alleys, northern plains, northwest, northern California, southern California, Ohio River Valley, southeast, mid Atlantic, northeast, Conus. Uh,
They don't say anything about not using it for streams. Or they don't tell you that you can either, so I'd rather be safe than sorry and just not use it, but I don't know. William, thank you for becoming an EF3 member. Holy crap, this is about to be bad. Yep. This is about to be really bad. Ain't even 1 p.m. Central Time. We're already at blue STP. And there you go, 1 p.m. Central Time, and we are at 11 STP. I wouldn't be shocked to see 4,000 capes sneak in somewhere.
I saw 3,500 earlier when I was, kind of like recording.
It would be at 21Z if we do see something like 4K sneak in, which is 3 more frames.
But yeah,
I'm not gonna use the NAM because I don't want to spoil it. I'm gonna stay with the NAM 3K. But what?
The side looks all right. I mean, it's all right. I mean, you can look after whenever you decide to end. Are you gonna stream with me also? Same time?
I'm gonna be live when you're live.
Nice. Yeah, I'm only going for an hour. I got school in the morning.
Imagine having school. I'm just kidding.
Yo, guys. Hey, Turgy, how are you? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
It's been a pretty good day. You know what? Let's keep it that way. You got
other than the model runs, it's been a pretty good day.
Oh yeah. Other than that, it's been a pretty good day. Other than that,
man. And the timing of these two are still very far off from one another. I'm gonna say it. HRRR an outlier. I think it's an outlier. I think it's way too fast. Anyone agree? Or am I just a sole person out here thinking the HRRR ain't good? And there you go. You got a freaking 5 different QLCSs ongoing or something. Look at that. 1, 2, there's some up here. There's a crap vection there. It just goes crazy all in this area. Yeah, so that's, like I said, north of like this area, north of the Birmingham Metro. I said that yesterday too. I feel like that's where it's going to be more crap vection. I wouldn't be surprised if the NAM just doesn't initiate anything here at all, because that's just how bad it is. What's the highest cape number here? Because this is when it should peak. 3,300? I think that's going to be our maxed. Trying to find the exact pixel here. Maybe 3,400 tops. Jeez, but look at the difference. NAM 3K, HRRR. The HRRR is so much more east. That is a crazy thing right there. Why do I have 9 notifications? Oh. It's one of my friends spamming me about his area. Alright, I want to go over here. Can this go out to, what was it, frame 24 yet? Almost there. We're at frame 23. It was around like 24 or 25 or something. Oh my word. Dude, that STP is insane. Look at that. Widespread 10 to 13 STP. Widespread. That is crazy. Yep, and just like I thought, it just doesn't initiate south. So, we don't have a really good model run here. I'm going to be honest. I think we're going to see something in between the NAM and the HRRR, where the HRRR is too fast and the NAM's a little too slow. I think the HRRR is overconvecting and the NAM 3K is underconvecting. We don't have a good model run. Like a good accurate scenario, in my opinion. I don't think any of these model runs are actually showing just how crazy the environment's actually going to end up being and just how crazy storms will end up firing. No, I don't agree with the 18Z either. The 18Z is a more likely scenario, but it's not what I think is going to end up happening. The 18Z is too fast. The 0Z even got a little bit slower, but it's still too fast. Let's go back to the NAM 3K again. We'll see. Oh, well, there's a freaking derecho over Nashville. Look at that. Yeah, I just don't agree with most of what these models are putting out. I think after we get through tomorrow, or at least till tomorrow's event starts, then we'll know more. I'm just not confident in these model runs being right. By the way, that wouldn't actually be a derecho. Well, I can't say that for sure, because if it started being severe here in Arkansas and then moved up through Nashville and stayed severe for a couple more miles, that might actually be able to hit derecho criteria. However, this scenario is so low. I'm thinking we'll have a big overconvection issue over Tennessee. All right, Lucky, you want to go on mute? Oh, look at that. There's some tail end supercells starting.
Yeah, I can go on mute. Yeah.
Okay. I'll touch you in, I don't know, like 10-ish minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start mine up, get mine going, and then I'll call for you.
All right.
Well, actually, I'm gonna go do my talking first, and
Okay.
yeah, just let me know if you I guess see anything that I may not see.
I mean, okay.
All right.
I don't really know what you're gonna see or not. So
Well, I'm looking at the model run, so I mean, probably what you've already seen is what I'm gonna see.
okay. Talk to you in a
But
bit.
yeah, chat. See you for a bit. Love y'all, man.
Go to sleep.
No.
Hey, Chip. Glad to see you in here. I really want to see that singular supercell in the NAM 3K. That was west of St. Louis. Is that it right there? I think that's it. I think that's it right there. Maybe one more frame will show it better, or that might be where it starts to get worse. But there you go. Man, what a model run. Just a very potent environment on the NAM 3K, but not much comes out of it due to its bias. Which doesn't really surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me. There's your updraft helicity tracks, which are like nothing is even into moderate risk. Like literally everything ends up staying directly north of the moderate. Maybe some of that is in the moderate in Mississippi. But most of those updraft helicity tracks weren't even in the moderate. So there's your little discrete supercell in the NAM 3K. And you can see all these other cells where if any of them could become robust, we could see a long tracked strong tor threat tomorrow. Maybe even an intense long tracked tornado threat. And then of course you have your actual possible derecho here as it progresses as well. I'm hoping a lot of stuff changes in terms of forecast confidence tomorrow. Hopefully all that's downtrends, but I don't know. I don't like really the NAM. I think it's just under convecting. Then the HRRR's over convecting. I think they're handling tomorrow a bit better, but there's still some issues there as well. Even though we're freaking what 16-ish hours from storms firing or so. Man. All right, now I'll look at the NAM. NAM goes just as crazy as the NAM 3K, obviously, because the NAM 3K is a higher resolution model of the NAM. Jeez. Definitely a instability uptrend on the 0Z NAM going into the overnight hours. Overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. But yeah, if you guys do want to tune into tomorrow's live coverage, likely beginning around, I'd love to hold off till 3 p.m., but I just don't see a way. It would be a miracle if I hold off a stream that long till 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the post notification bell set to all, so you know when I go live tomorrow for live coverage. And also consider hitting that like button as well. It helps spread us out to the YouTube algorithm. And also share this stream with your family, friends, social media. We're not concluding just yet, but we are getting through all the model runs I wanted to watch render in with you guys. Where'd my phone disappear off to? I swear that thing has teleportation powers. Let's see. Want to check something really quick. Not that. Not that. That. Interesting. Something's glitching there. Anyways. Yeah, we'll just wait to see what happens tomorrow, man. I mean, I don't really agree with many of these model runs. They still give you an idea of how high end the threats are going to be, but I just don't feel like they're actually showing the actual storms in those environments. And if they are, they're over convecting them. All right. Well, that's all our model runs there. 2 more frames left of the NAM 3K, but that's going into Sunday morning. We'll look at the normal NAM for my area, I suppose. But I don't expect this will show much. The HRRR is typically the most accurate model run, but it does have its bias as well. In this case, probably over convecting and no EML. Or very minimal EML. Man. Now we wait for this to... Why is that friggin' red supercell composite to my west? Am I about to get slabbed on the NAM? That's way off to my northwest, though. Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember a Virginia sounding like that in a long time. Dang. What's wrong here? Holy cow. That is like one of the most potent soundings I've pulled in Virginia, especially near my area. And it goes right over my house. I'm cooked. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. I don't think the NAM's correct there. The NAM is like the worst model run to use in the Mid-Atlantic. No model runs are good in the Mid-Atlantic. They always underdo something. They always underdo something, or they're too fast or too slow. Most of the risks I've chased have ended up being the HRRR was like significantly underdoing convection or instability, and then I just went out anyways, and then it exploded. What model run is that, Ethan? HRRR00Z. Buddy, you ain't gonna get no storm up there. There's not even a forcing mechanism. Your cold front's in front of your instability. There ain't even a forcing mechanism to spawn any storms up there until very late. Hate to crush your hopes there, but that ain't happening. And plus, I'd be moving so fast, it'd probably be over the water, not actually over the land. Considering it's moving from south to north. If anything forms here, that's going to just move right into water. You might have a chance if something manages to form like here over water and then move northward like that. A very small chance. But that's if the environment's even there, which the NAM 3K doesn't have the environment there. The NAM model doesn't have the environment there. The GFS doesn't have the environment there. The Euro doesn't have that environment there. Oop, the RAP might. The RAP does. So it's the RAP and the HRRR that have the environment there. I didn't check the RAP for... Oh, wow. Everybody gets rain. Yeah. I don't even like the RAP. Now that's a model run that I would not use. I would choose the NAM over this model run pretty much any day. I'm just not a RAP fan. Now, I do like its ingredients, though. Every now and then I do like to use its ingredients to see what it shows, but I'm not a big fan of that model run at all. I mean, the NAM wants a spin-up tornado threat out here behind the actual line. Like last time. Which downtrended, by the way. So, I doubt it will be anything good. I'll keep it on Sunday, though. I just don't feel like it's going to be a chase-worthy day for me. Might go enhanced for coastal, but I'm not going 4 hours like I did last time. We're 1 like away from 150 likes, so if you didn't already, make sure you hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction to our 0Z information and runs. Once I end, I will send you guys over to Lucky, because Lucky is live, so if you want to tune into Lucky's live stream, you could just stay in this live stream and it will automatically redirect you over there. Just in case. Just in case you're not subscribed, it'll just send you right over to his stream. Just unliked. Hope that helped. Well, unfortunately for you, Ethan, 10 people just liked, so. Saturday's still easily. I could see Saturday getting a day 2 high risk. My personal opinion, after seeing the 0Z data, I think it's very, very much a possibility, honestly. I'm not sure if, hmm, that's tricky. I personally see it. I personally see it. But we'll see. We'll see what the SPC does. It's all up to them, right? It's always all up to them. Where do I see the high risk? So after that 0Z data watch party, I'd say probably in here. That's where I'd say. That's where I'm most confident. Not into Birmingham. But that's just a guess. That is just a guess. If they don't do it at day 2, they'll most likely end up doing it at day 1. Unless all model runs start to jump on to an extreme amount of overconvection in the morning hours lasting through the afternoon hours like the HRRR has. But even in that case, HRRR still ended up producing multiple strong, intense tornadoes. Let's see here. We will, we'll see what they do tomorrow morning, right? See if we wake up to day 2 high risk. That would be insane. I'm still shocked we woke up to a day 3 moderate, even though I was pretty confident in it. It still surprised me. Still definitely surprised me. It's like I knew it was going to happen, but then it's like, whoa, it actually happened. They pulled a day 3 moderate. A day 3 moderate. I mean, that's just crazy. When we wake up, I'm not I'm not going to bed. Isabel, get some sleep tonight, and then you can pull your all-nighter tomorrow. NAM can both underdo and overdo convection. From what I know, typically it will underdo confluence band convection, which is storms that come from the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America now, and moves northward up into Mississippi and Alabama, Louisiana, and tries to produce storms there. So, like these right in here. These would be confluence bands as they move northward. So it typically would underdo convection on that. which we should see a lot of those. If we look here at the NAM model, yeah, see, these would end up being confluence bands right here. And we should see a few of those. Probably 1, 2, maybe as many as 3 solid confluence bands setting up for Saturday. That's what it will underdo convection with. I mean, that's just a crazy warm sector right there. My goodness. Some wild supercell composite over Missouri, too. Jeez. 23, 25 supercell composite. My goodness. Seven STP. Thank goodness we'll have a lack of forcing and probably at least a little bit of capping here. Because that is an insane environment. My goodness. Six there as well. But I don't think that environment's really going to be used up. We'll have a lot of probably miniature cells that get in there, and we'll have to watch for any that may be able to mature. But the NAM 3K, the NAM, and the HRRR really don't have anything maturing in that area. Okay. I'm going to close out this. Just keep college due page open. So again, just to reiterate the hazards here for probably the last time today. So for tomorrow, we've got a moderate risk for severe weather issued from the Storm Prediction Center. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, Level 4 out of 5 for severe weather. Unlikely to see a high risk for severe weather for this day, as the tornado threat is too minimal. We aren't going to be seeing any solid opportunities for long-tracked strong tornadoes. There may be a conditional risk for strong long-tracked tornadoes on the southern end, which they may end up upgrading somewhere in this moderate risk to a 15 sig for tornadoes. Right now it's wind-driven, so main threat at the moment is going to be multiple spin-up tornadoes, some of which may be strong, potentially a long-track tornado, especially if we're going to get any storms to fire on the southern tail end of that line. Damaging wind gusts as high as 90 to 100 miles per hour in that moderate risk zone, as well as the potential for up to 3-inch hail in diameter there across and near the St. Louis area. Then we go on into Saturday. We've got still same ordeal, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 threat for severe weather for Saturday. The main threats with this will be 80 to as high as 90 mile per hour winds, isolated large hail up to probably 2.5 inch in diameter. Can't be fully ruled out, especially if we can see some sustained supercells. And of course, we are going to have the chance for multiple long-tracked, strong, intense tornadoes, potentially even a violent tornado or two. Day 2 and or day 1, we will likely see an upgrade to a high risk, generally in this vicinity here, depending on which way our model runs trend over the next 24 hours or so. It will be very crucial to see if the SPC will eventually do a high risk for severe weather at some point. And there you go. That's your 45 significant chance for overall severe weather centered over Jackson, Mississippi, as well as Birmingham, Alabama, down through Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans, Louisiana for Saturday. Taking a look here at as good as we have for a model run. It is the HRRR 0Z that we just watched render in. Let's go ahead and pull this on out. Tomorrow we'll begin to see storms. We could see a first line here. I don't think that will be too severe. If it does form 60-mile-an-hour winds, small hail, maybe a spin-up tornado with that. But your main line will form towards that 4, maybe as late as 5 p.m. Eastern time frame. Rapidly develop into a large squall line potential derecho, make its way eastward. Peak tornado threat will be right around 8 p.m. Near and west of the St. Louis area as those storms move to the northeast. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern time, continuing eastward. Then going into midnight Eastern time. This is where your uncertainty is higher. We could actually see some prefrontal storms back out here in Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, with that remnant cold front potentially also having some relatively clustered to discrete supercells along it as well. So that may be a secondary peak and possibly even the actual peak for tornadoes going into tomorrow. Could end up being a full midnight threat for severe weather there in terms of tornadoes. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., still continuing 3 a.m. Your tornado threat starts to decrease rapidly, especially across the Midwestern United States. Could still see an isolated tornado or two, maybe even a strong tornado or two going through the 3 to 5 a.m. time frame, depending on how convection evolves there. You can see the HRRR definitely has a big supercell back out here north of Nashville at 4 a.m. Central Time, 5 a.m. Eastern. That would be for technically Saturday morning. HRRR does probably have a bit of overconvection happening, but it does have the threat for multiple spin-up tornadoes in northwestern Alabama at 5 a.m. And then it does have a threat for an isolated spin-up strong tornado or two over the next couple of hours here from 5 a.m. all the way till about 10 a.m. out there in portions of Alabama and southeastern Mississippi in the morning hours. Before that air mass recovery rapidly occurs, we see extreme destabilization out in Mississippi and Alabama. We get multiple long tracks, strong to intense tornadoes being possible here at 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Tornado threat, according to this model run, peaks between 2 and 6 p.m. Eastern. Multiple intense tornadoes likely happening at this point. You can see they're all moving up to the northeast like this. A little bit clustered. Definitely a little clustered, a little messy. That's the HRRR's overconvection bias coming in there. But still continuing with that all-hazard significant tornado threat through 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern. It does weaken some of these supercells. They're not as mature on the HRRR at this time frame, so we'll see. We'll see if that's an issue there going on into Saturday with other model runs. 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is your last frame. Last frame still has an intense supercell south central Alabama. Few supercells up there, north central Alabama, south central Tennessee. Wake up. Get up, Lucky.
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
Hi. Do you have any thoughts for these days real quick? I'm about to wrap up.
Repeat that. Sorry.
I am about to
Sorry.
wrap up. Do you have any thoughts?
Probably like I said earlier, probably nothing that you haven't already said.
All right.
Like I said, I'll say it again. That y'all gotta be weather aware for these. You should always be weather aware, but especially if you're in any of these risks, please be weather aware. Your friends, family, anyone that you know, let them know that severe weather is coming their way, and it's starting within the next 24 hours. So definitely let them know to be prepared, and yeah. I mean, I could say a lot more, but I'm gonna let you wrap up though.
All right. I'll send them over
All right.
your way. So you guys, if you want to go watch Lucky's stream, you don't even have to leave. If you're subscribed to him, you can leave early. But I'll send you guys right over to his live stream in 6 minutes. So say goodbye, I guess, Lucky, if you want to end it for me. I know that might sound weird on your end, though.
I'm gonna mute on my end for like 30 seconds. Bear with me. All right. TRG chat. If you guys did enjoy this stream, make sure you like and subscribe. Turn the post notification bell on so you do get notified when TRG goes live or when he makes a video. And please share the channel with your friends and family. Let's help get the word out to people. Let's let them know what weather is coming their way. If if you would like to join the Discord server, it is the second link in the description. It's a very fun server. A lot of cool members, a lot of active members. You always have someone to talk to because we have a lot of active members in there. And if you ever wanted to try and chat with me and TRG, that is the best place to do so outside of stream. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for him for tonight, at least.
Yep. For now, I'll be back
But
for
for
a
now-
bunch of hours tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a long day tomorrow, but yeah. There you go. There's your subscriber count, y'all. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like Lucky said. And I mean, he wrapped it up for me, so yeah. There you go. All right, say bye to stream, Lucky.
All right, see you, chat. If y'all are staying, see y'all on my end. If not, I hope you guys have a great night. Y'all stay safe, and I mean, I'm gonna be with TRG streaming, not with, but I'm gonna be streaming with TRG tomorrow. So I'll see y'all tomorrow if y'all tune in. Have a great night and happy early Friday. At least for me, it's another hour. But
Happy Friday
yeah,
Eve.
happy Friday Eve. All right. See you, chat.
All right, I'll see you soon because I'll be over there helping you too.
Alrighty.
All right. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the support today. I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Probably between 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll see exactly when. I'll just figure it out sometime tomorrow. Thank you, mods, for mod and chat. Since I have some extra time, the last time I was ending, I ended up being a little late, so now I can actually say it here. Thank you, Hoop, for the $10 donation, Scorp for the $2 donation, William for becoming an EF3 member, Brady for becoming Bradley for becoming an EF3 member, Sieg for becoming an EF1 member, and Scorp for becoming an EF1 member. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for the support today. And again, if you want to also just stay here, I'll send you guys right over to Lucky's channel. You don't even have to click off of this stream. It'll just direct you right over to his channel. And that's it for me. Stay safe, watch severe weather, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.
See you later, brothers.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next live stream tomorrow. Stay safe. Wear severe weather in the tropics.